Alright, what's going on, guys? Another day working on Z sled. So today's plan is we are fitting gktech traction and camber arms, obviously in the rear. So jack it up, undo the wheels, put the arms on, and then we are going to also put the rest of the gktech spacers on for the front. I think it's like 30mm in total either side. So hopefully a little bit more angle and obviously a bit more track at the front, because obviously it's a wider stance with them being wider out. So let's get into unboxing the arms. Alright, so these are the two boxes, obviously from gktech, not sponsored. So we'll start up with the camber arms. So I have opened them before, but obviously there's your two camber arms. Boots that just go over your ball joints. And obviously you do get your instructions which help. Don't want to put them the wrong way. So there's your camber arms. And tractions, they are slightly different designs, as you can tell from where it bolts onto the hub. There's completely two different designs, so you can't really get them too confused, but same thing, boots with ball joints and instructions. Let's get to fitting them. Alright, so the camber arm is now in. It is 53 foot-pounds for that nut, and then for this one it is 65 foot-pounds. So it's got to do them to torque now, and then I can move on to the traction arm. Alright guys, camber and traction arms are done. Literally took me and my dad half an hour, both sides. It was actually pretty easy. Main thing we did run into was make sure you do your traction arm before your camber arm, because we did the camber arm, then the traction arm, but you have to undo the camber arm to do the traction arm, if that makes sense. Another thing is make sure you do torque them down to the recommended settings. I'll probably just put them in the description for you guys. And make sure you do your lock nuts up. That stops it from unwinding and winding in. So this is what they look like. So again, that is your camber and that is your traction. So looks pretty cool. At least now it is kind of fully adjustable. As you probably see, I have kept the stock bucket, as that's the type of coilover I'm running that still runs the spring and then the coil separate. So there you go, that's literally the rear arms done, and now we're gonna do the front spacers. Alright, so they have what gktech supply, just cable tie them all together. Alright, front spacers are on both sides. Do have a fair bit of wheel poke. That's actually looking straight down at it. It is on the jack at the moment, so I want to show you the angle, but the only reason I want to run that is just so I get a little bit more angle, because on my second drift event, which was an issue D, I actually was hitting full lock at a lot of the time, where I felt like if I had a bit more angle I could have carried more momentum and maybe faster and have more angle drifting, because I was running out of steering lock. So I'll quickly chuck it on full lock, show you what does that look like. Obviously no binding and that. So that is full lock out. That's a fair bit of distance from there to there, and obviously no binding at all, which is pretty good. I do think that's a lot better from when it was stock and factory, obviously. That's the inside wheel. Again, no rubbing. Alright guys, today's plan is to do the hood pins. We got the D1 style quick release hood pins, so just these ones here. The plan is hopefully to get them installed today. My dad's just making a template to trace over that one, and that's going to be probably it. So let's get into it. Right, so what we've done is we drilled out the hole, because it actually is a hole between those two bolts. Drew it out, so that fits in there perfect, and we did put the toothpaste on there, and it lined up just to that hole right there. Just got to drill that out, and then yeah, do a little bit like a step-by-step on how we install them. There's a lot of videos, and a lot of them they do them different ways, so we don't want to really butcher the inside of the hood like some do. We want to try and make it nice and neat, and we are actually going to be using pot rivets to pot rivet him down. I actually didn't get the backing plate for him. Pretty weird and frustrating, but it's all good. So there. Alright, so we've drilled both the holes for the red pins. That one was a little bit out, so we had to kind of Dremel it out. Not going to go through the hood yet, as we're going to bolt these pins down, mark it to the hood, and then try and cut it all out in one hit. Alright, so we have the template for the passenger side. All we done was just put the blue tape on it. We sat the hood pin lock down, and we just measured from the outside of it to the inside of the hood, as we want it to kind of sit straight in line with the headlight. So now I'm going to get the Dremel up, cut that out. Hopefully it fits. Hope it fits. So yeah, let's cut it out and see how we go. Alright, hood's off. It was starting to get a little bit annoying. So what we done was taking the hood off. So we've hammered the inside of the material down. As I actually didn't want to cut it out, so bit of the paint has chipped, but I do actually have touch-up paint, so I'm gonna probably file that back, make that all look nice. Alright, so this is where we're at. The red pins on both sides are tight and lined up. They are really free from the hood. We have drilled all the holes for them, so now it's got to pot rivet them in place. Let's get to it. Alright, hood latches are in, finally. Probably the worst job my dad and I have ever done on the car. Not fun, the aligning everything up was just a pain in the flipping ass. So, not an easy job, but they do look pretty cool. As you can see, we actually managed to find black pot rivets, so there's none of that silver lining dots, and to be honest, they do work very smooth. There we go. So yeah, bit of a painful job, but looks pretty cool, and obviously it's kind of a requirement for the cams thing, as it's quick access for the marshals in case there's an engine fire. So had to really put them in. They're in, done, not touch them again. So that will be it for this video, guys.